Good morning, Year 6, and welcome to Tuesday's literacy lesson. Thank you so much for your feedback yesterday. I saw some amazing metaphors, similes, personification, also show not tell, some hyperbole or exaggeration. I also saw some really lovely words being chosen for your onomatopoeic phrases. So swish and gurgle and just amazing words. So well done. And a particular shout out to Maddie. Saw some super examples in yours. So well done. Absolutely loved reading through them. I can see that these descriptions that we're edging towards writing on Friday just are going to be superb. Okay, so we've got a little look here at our spellings again. Yesterday you were introduced to the rule and you had a little look to see if they all followed it, and that when we added the shul, the TIA version of the suffix, that they all had a consonant before you added the suffix. Okay, so today we're going to have a little bit of fun. We're going to be practicing our spellings, but in a fun way. So you will need to be able to see your spelling list, and you'll need your purple book. Okay, a bit of a clue is what we're going to be doing with the learning question, which is, can I spell my words accurately at speed? And what I've got is I've got a link here to a spinner. Okay, an online spinner. So, oh, yeah, it's there. If I click on it, okay, and I'll show you the link in a minute. The first time I spin it, it's going to tell me which of my 10 words I'm going to spell. So I'm going to start off with 8, okay, which if I look back there, spelling number 8 is torrential, okay. So then I spin it again, and how many times have I got to spell it very quickly? 8. So in your purple book, underneath the learning question, can I spell my words accurately at speed? You would do torrential 8 times. Okay, then you go back to the spinner. Okay, back to the spinner, spin it again, and then do spelling number 9. That's essential. How many times have I got to do it? I've got to spell it out twice. Oh, that's nice. Okay, so you're going to have a little bit of fun with those. So the link that you need is www.superteachertools.us.spinner. Okay, and if you haven't got access to anything that you can do the spin, get the spinner on, you haven't got a laptop or an iPad or a phone or whatever, you could just use dice from a board game. Work exactly the same thing. Okay, roll them. Tell you the number that you need to get to, and then roll it again. How many times do I have to do it? And to get to the sort of anything past 6, just roll it twice and add them together until you get 7, 8, 9, or 10. All right. So good luck. I'm sure you're going to have a whole load of fun with today's spelling activity. All right. Pause the video. Have fun. I can imagine what I'm hearing at home now. Oh, my arm's aching. That'd be exactly what you'd be like in class. Wow, never mind. I've got the perfect solution, and that is to practice some super handwriting. And wow, have I been seeing some amazing handwriting. CJ, just absolutely beautiful. And Maddie, I know I've already given you a shout out, but your double Fs, just fantastic, much better than I could have done. So we're going to have a little look, because it's those double letters that are causing us a few issues when we are doing our work. And the things I'm spotting when I'm looking at and giving you feedback. So I've scrolled through the text that we're going to be using in our comprehension work today, and I've spotted some double letter words. Okay, so I'm going to try and model as best I can, okay, so that I'm setting good habits, and hopefully it will reinforce good habits for me too. And then you're going to have a go in your book. So in a moment, when I've shown you them all, you are going to leave a line underneath your spelling, or you might need to go on another page because you've written so much. And what you're going to do is put, can I practice my handwriting? Underline it, and then you're going to have a go, 2 lines of each. So here I go with swimming. Now I've got to look out for the pointed W from yesterday, as well as those double M's. So I lead into my S, pointed W's, into my first M, into my second, and then ER. And then I can dot my I. Notice my cursive letters, my lowercase cursive letters are the same height. Notice I've got my points there in my W. So I've got double T now. I'm just going to scroll up a little bit because it's a little bit tricky writing on a board. Okay, so I shall do attempt. I shall attempt to attempt. So here we go, into the A, T, T, E, M. Notice my P is sitting beautifully on the line, and I've got my my work there. Now my P is slightly larger than my others, so I'm going to have another go at that because I'm not happy about that. Let's see if I can attempt a better P. So nice tall T's. E, M, P. Oh, much better, Mrs. Heavey. Okay, nice size, and my P is still sitting beautifully on the line. Okay, so let's have a go at succeed. Lots of lovely curves here to get your teeth stuck into. So here we go. So into the S, U, C, C, E, E, D, D, E, sorry, D. So S, U, C, C, E, E, D, E, D. So I've got my nice tall D's and my lower cases are those. I'm sure I can do that better, so I'm going to have another little go. So S, U, C, C, E, E, D nice and tall, D nice and tall. Notice my S is the same size as my other letters here. Okay. Right, across next. So I'm going A, C, R, S, S. Notice I drew my R across the top because that was one of the issues that we had. We were having some R's being joined at the bottom for some strange reason. So I've got a cross there. My S's are the same size as everything else. Let's see again. A, C, R, O, double S. Across. I'm going to scroll up again. And I've got lots of G's in this one. Goggles. Okay, and challenged. So goggles, first of all. G, O, in my loop, loop, L, S. Okay, going to go have another go at that. G, O, G. Notice they're sitting on the line. Tall L, and I've got my ES at the end. And then finally, challenged. Into my H, tall L's. My G sitting on the line, and I've got my tall D at the end. Okay, let's go again. So into my C, tall H, double L, E, N, loop my G, into my D, and an E at the end there, and D. Okay. So you're going to put the learning question in your purple book, and you're going to have a go 2 lines of each. You might want to do a row, then leave a line, do another, leave a line, do another, leave a line, etc., so that you don't get your ascenders and descenders all merging together. Okay, and you can decide how you're going to set it out, but that's maybe a suggestion. All right, I'm looking forward to seeing beautiful handwriting. Pause the video, and off you go. Okay, well, now we're going to have a little look at our comprehension work today, and we're going to have a starter activity. We're going to be using our brand new comprehension books today, and I'm so excited looking at them. We've got an owl on the front of them, okay, and it says 5 book 2 on it. Okay, so you're going to be looking at page 2 today, and you're going to find me some phrases to start off with. So you're going to have a little look, page 2, it's an article that's written about a swimmer called Gertrude who does an absolutely amazing swim across the channel, and it changes how people think about swimmers, okay, particularly women, female swimmers and female athletes in general. Okay, that's how important this swim was. So you're going to look at page 2 and you're going to find a phrase. Now, your phrase is 2, 3, maybe 4 words maximum. Okay, it may or may not contain a verb. And your first phrase that you're looking for in the text means put loads on. The second phrase you're looking for is do something no one else has done. Your third phrase you're looking for means boat stopped. And your fourth phrase, it means fantastic sportsmanship. And then your fifth and final one that you're looking for in your text is change their mind. So you're looking for 5 phrases that mean each of the things that are written on the board. Okay, so page 2, your brand new comprehension book. I want you to find the phrases and underline them. Pause the video, off you go. Okay, Year 6, how did you get on? So the phrases that you were looking for were as follows. Means put loads on. It was gentle. It wasn't gentle, Mrs. Heavey. It was generous. Oh my word, I need to wake up, don't I? So it was generous slathering. I don't know where gentle came from, but generous slathering. Okay, generous slathering. Right, number 2, I think I'm awake now. Do something no one else has done, and that is make history. Okay, and put them in inverted commas so you know the phrases from the text. Okay, so make history means do something no one else has done. Okay, next one is boat stopped. So you should have seen crossings. Ooh, where's my O gone? Crossings were suspended. That's what you were looking for. Squeeze it in. There. Crossings were suspended. That's what you were looking for that phrase. Then fantastic sportsmanship. The phrase was, practicing my F's again, feet of, and then athleticism. Very good word. Athleticism. Okay, athleticism. So that's what you were looking for there. Put it in the inverted commas. Okay, and finally, change their minds. We'll scroll this up so you can see them all. Okay. So the final one, change their minds, was towards the end of the text, and it was reassess their attitudes. So reassess their attitudes. Okay, some tricky ones there, but I'm sure that you have done really well and found all of them. So let's have a little look at the text then and the questions that you are going to be doing today. So, getting it on the visualizer, but if you've got it in front of you, it's much easier to read. Okay, so we've got Gertrude Adelaide, or Adele. I'm not 100% how we pronounce it, but I'm going to, Gertrude Adelaide, I'm going to say, was a famous American swimmer. She set many world records and won 3 Olympic medals. Her first attempt to swim the English Channel in 1925 failed, but in 1926 she tried again, and this time she succeeded. And she became the first woman to swim across the Channel. And the Channel goes between England and France. Really, really popular feat of sportsmanship or athleticism, as it said in our text, being able to swim between the two. And loads of people have had a go, some successfully, some not so. So let's have a little look at the text then. So it says that at 7 a.m. on the 6th of August 1926, a 20-year-old American woman stood on the shore of Cap Gris-Nez in France. Okay. She was wearing nothing but a bathing suit, motorcycle goggles, and a generous slathering of lard. And we know what generous slathering means now. It means she was covered in it, and that helps to keep them warm, keep the body heat, because they're swimming for a long time because it's quite a distance. Okay. So in front of her, the steely English Channel rolled out towards the horizon. So it's showing that, you know, she can see nothing but sea, and it's quite a daunting prospect that she's got, that she's going to be swimming for quite some time in this water. Okay, so the woman's name was Gertrude Adelaide, and she was about to make history. Adelaide became the first woman to successfully swim across the English Channel. So make history. She's the first woman that is going to succeed doing this. So we had a little look at the phrase make history. We know that means she's the first person to do it. Okay, and successfully means she did it. The grueling 35-mile journey took her just 14 hours and 39 minutes. So it's 35 miles. Doesn't sound a lot, but when you're swimming in these kind of waters, it really is. It's very, very tiring. And her time was almost 2 hours faster than the existing record, the record that had previously been set. Okay, the existing record, the record that stood at that time, and that had been set by an Italian man, Enrico Tiraboschi, in 1923. So he set this fantastic record. Gertrude goes in 1926, and not just breaks it, but smashes it by almost 2 hours. Okay. So if we have a look at the heading here, the American swimmer who waved away doubts about female athletes, we've got a little bit of a pun here, and it links a little bit with what we've just said, because female athletes before this time were seen as not particularly being as good as men. So the existing record, it was a man who'd successfully done it. He'd set this record. Here comes a female who absolutely smashes it. Now, waved, we've got a little bit of a pun. If you look at newspaper reports and magazine articles and things like that, they very often like to have a little play with words. And they're having to play with the word waved here. So it's sort of waving away, meaning dismissing. You know, you've got to now take female athletes seriously. And the idea that she's swimming. So she's swimming in a very choppy sea, okay, the English Channel. So it's that double meaning of waved, okay, the idea of the waves and also the dismissing, the waving away. Okay, so if we go back to the text, so Adelaide's achievement is more impressive given the stormy weather she encountered along the way. So it wasn't you know, a lovely swimming pool like we have in school and nice and gentle. Here there were some very, very forceful waves, very, very stormy. And it tells us a little bit more information about just how bad the conditions were when she was swimming. By the end of the swim, she'd swum an extra 14 miles because of the strong winds that blew her off course. So, you know, she was being buffeted not only by the waves, but the wind. And so it was veering her off course. So instead of doing her 35-mile journey, she ended up doing an extra 14 on top of that. So she must have been absolutely exhausted by the time she finished. So it says the waves became so large that even some ferry crossings were suspended. So some of the boats that take people from France to England and from England to France, they were stopped, suspended, stopped. It was too bad, the conditions. And Adelaide was advised to abort her attempt, but she ignored the warnings and she carried on. So she was advised to stop, to abort the attempt, stop it. But no, she was determined. She was going to continue and break this record and finish this swim. Okay, so around 21:40, Adelaide stepped on to a beach around 6 miles from Dover. Crowds flocked to greet her, cheering and screaming as she walked unaided onto the shore. Fantastic bit of history there. You know, these were the people who saw Gertrude get out of the water, having completed this record-breaking swim. So, in bold, we have a quote from the woman herself. People said women couldn't swim the channel. I proved they could. So it shows her determination there. You know, people said it couldn't be done, but I've proved it could be done. So she's obviously a very, very, strong, confident, determined woman. So then the crossing was an amazing feat of athleticism, which challenged widely held beliefs about women's physical abilities. So we know that feature, that sportsmanship there. So it's challenging them. Before, as I said, women were seen as being, that little bit weaker. They couldn't do it. Gertrude's shown that it can be done. So only 5 people had managed to swim across the channel before her, and all of those had been men. So that sort of reinforced that sort of idea that women couldn't do it, because only men had been successful in doing it previously. So before Adelaide's successful swim, many people believed that women weren't physically capable of swimming across the channel, despite several previous close attempts. So they just thought they're too weak, they can't do it. In fact, days before Adelaide's record was set, another American woman called Clarabelle Barrett had battled the channel crossing for a whopping 24 hours and 45 minutes. So nearly 22 hours she'd been swimming until she had to abandon it. Okay. And then 1924, a Danish swimmer, Clementin Carson, had come within just 2 miles of land before having to give up. So she was almost there, so close, but she had to give up. She was obviously just too exhausted. So Adelaide's success proved that women weren't just capable of completing the swim at that time, they could be better at it. So not only could they do it, but they could do it better, because she'd broken the male record. Her record remained unbroken until 1950. So that's how impressive that swim was. Nearly 25 years later, it was still going, okay? At a time when women were often considered to be less suited to sports than men, Adelaide's achievement forced people to reassess their attitudes, so change their minds, towards female athletes. And today, thousands of swimmers, both male and female, have followed in her footsteps, meaning they've had a go and they've been successful. Okay, so you've got some questions on this text about this very inspiring woman. So the first one, we did talk about the phrase waved away in the title. Line 1. So you might want to do a sneaky little rewind, get to the part where I talk about it and see what I say. All right, so have a little look at that. Then the author describes the English Channel as steely in line 4. What impression does this description give of the sea? So there you need to look at a dictionary or a thesaurus, and you need to understand the word steely, and then you can say what impression it gives of the sea. Okay. And then question 3 says, why do you think the author has made line 15 stand out from the rest of the text? Now, we did talk about that as well. So look at that, the text in bold. It's this bit here. Okay, so think about who's saying that. Okay, who is saying that particular phrase? So why is it important? Okay. Then What do you think the word feet means? And again, you need to have a little look, dictionary or online thesaurus, and you'll be able to find what that means. Okay, and you can give me a definition of that. Look at it in context and you might be able to work it out and check that you're right using a thesaurus or the dictionary. And then you need to explain how Gertrude's achievement affected people's attitudes towards women. So how did they see women after that? Okay, it talks about reassessing their attitudes. Okay, so what does that mean? How were women seen as sports people from then on? Okay, and then question number 6, we've sort of touched on this quite a bit in talking through it. Explain what this extract tells you about Gertrude's personality. Okay, so we've talked about the fact that she kept going. She did one attempt in 1925 and failed, but she came back the following year. Okay, and look at what she says in that quote. Think about, you know, what she did, how long she was swimming for, those kind of things, and you'll be able to come up with a really, really good answer for that. Okay, so once you've answered all of those questions, I've got a little challenge for you to do. And what I want you to do, I'll move my board on, is I want you to imagine that you've witnessed a swim and had a chance to interview Gertrude. What 5 questions would you like to ask her? So what 5 questions would you like to ask Gertrude if you'd seen that swim? Okay, good luck everybody. I'm sure I'm going to see some amazing work on this absolutely inspiring swimmer. See you tomorrow. Bye bye.